This is Big Dreams, Small Pockets, a business and lifestyle podcast where we take you on our journey of making our dreams a reality. Ashhole is a full-time entrepreneur with a specialization in digital marketing, and Veli works a 9-to-5 job while managing her businesses on the side. If you want tips, tricks, and a good laugh, keep listening. Whether you're new or you've been listening from day one, we thank you for tuning in and ask you to share our podcast with your friends and business partners. Without further ado, let's get right to it.
Hey guys,
And
it's Ashhole here.
welcome to another episode of Big Dreams, Small Pockets. Woo!
Thanks for tuning in again.
I'm inserting a sound effect right there. So you
Okay.
guys, you're going to hear the sound effect.
Okay, good.
How are you today, Ash?
Not really good, not really bad. Can't complain though.
Okay. We like those, because sometimes life can get really bad. So a day where it's not really bad is actually a pretty good day.
Exactly.
Right. So I hope everyone else is doing great out there. Today we come to you with a kind of educational, but also reaching out for you guys and asking for help and advice on what you guys think today. Think we more so Ash should do. You want to take it away, Ash?
Yeah. So I'm in a state of gratitude right now because I applied for the one of the loans, the small business loans that the SBA was finally doing. And I thought I missed it, and I actually didn't. So you can still apply for any of the SBA loans if you're looking for a grant or something right now. And they're giving them out. So do it. And it's really, really simple. It's not as hard as you think. Just make sure you have all of your information from last year or the year before's taxes. And they're going to ask you, like, what did you make before COVID? And you're going to get it. So the two loans I applied for was PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program, and the EDIL. I don't remember what that stands for, but if you look up EDIL loan, like SBA loan, it'll come up immediately. I was pre-approved for both of them, and I'm so excited about it because I potentially can get $7,000 back, give or take.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm waiting on that to see how that's gonna work. Now, keep up with me, guys. Right now it's April that we're recording this. In May or June, ask me if I got the money because I really need the money. Yeah. But I was pre-approved for about $7,000, and that was based off of the income I made in 2020, and the difference of it from 2019. So they take the difference of what you used to make to what you made in COVID, and they see how it affected you, and they give that back to you.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds really good and really helpful for a lot of people. Really quickly, the EDIL, or is it? I think it's EIDL.
Oh,
yeah.
Yikes.
It's Economic Injury Disaster Loans. So
yeah,
just wanted to throw it out there. That's what it means.
Okay.
So you said that when did you apply for it?
I applied for it, I want to say last month, and they already got back.
And they got back to you pretty fast because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are applying for it.
Yeah, so one of the loans, the PPP loan, I actually cheated. I used a website called Womply, womply.com, WOMPLY.com, and we'll put a link in the episode description. So the womply.com is called a fast lane. It kind of just pushes your application through really, really quickly. I found it out from one of my friends in my group chat, and one of the accountability group chats. And she was like, "You got this, just do it." Because I was so scared I don't know why I'm so scared to ask for money, guys. Like, there's something wrong with me. The money is there for me to use. People out here, no business, no job, just getting this money. And I'm here struggling, not asking. So like, I finally rustled up some kind of courage to fill it out and stuff like that. And I was dragging my feet. The application took me like 4 minutes, guys. Wow. 4 minutes. Yeah, because I have my numbers. Like, I know it's really not that big of a number. I have my numbers, so I know what it was. I knew what it was, and I was the problem. Stop being the problem, guys. Just fill it out. It's not that hard. If you have anxiety, fill it out with a friend, just get it through, because it's so quick, and you can get money that you actually need. And some of those loans are forgivable, so you don't really necessarily have to pay them back if you're using it for the right thing.
Wow.
I might have to
Yeah.
look into those as well. So
Yeah.
in terms of the deadline, I just looked into it, and the EIDL loan, actually, the deadline was March 31st. They extended it a bit, but it's passed. However, with the PPP loan, it's extended through May 31st, so you guys still have some time, about a month and a half or so. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
a month and a half to apply for that loan. So if that's something you're interested in, please get to
Yeah.
it. You know,
And I also recommend constantly checking in, because the EID, whatever, what is it? What's
EIDL.
the EIDL loan, that actually that was the second run. So it keeps coming back. So if you guys think, after a deadline, like that's it and that's over, just keep checking, because the money's out there for us. They're gonna keep trying to help people out, especially small businesses, because COVID didn't go nowhere. We still struggling.
Right. So in terms of the requirements, is it just that you need to have an EIN, an employee identification number?
Not even. So for the PPP loan, you use your social security number. They ask you, how big is the business? Is it just you? Is it 4 to 5 employees? Is it a little more than that? A little more than that? They ask you, like, it's not necessary that you need a EIN. For the EIDL, I think it was what's it called? Like you needed an actual business license for it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it opens up the gate for a lot more people, because some people
Yeah.
are still in the process of getting their LLC and all of that situated. Some people have a business without having the legalities of the business.
Yeah. And that's
So,
fine.
yeah, but you're still facing economic hardships due to COVID, because like Ash said, COVID is still here and it's still affecting people drastically. So
Mm.
I would encourage anyone after this episode to go look more into it, see if you qualify. And even if you don't, I would still apply, because you never know. Depending
Yeah.
on who's reviewing your application, they might just check you off, you know?
Exactly. It's all dependent on who's like actually doing the underwriting, who's checking it out and stuff like that. Just apply. You really never know. The worst they can tell you is you get $6 back.
Yeah.
You really, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
what plans or what options do you have for this money?
So that's where the issue lies. Cause like I feel like I've always been the type of person to have strategies, plans, and like basically step by steps for mad people, all my clients and stuff like that. But me personally, I don't know. I don't necessarily have a real direction of how I want to allocate the money. Like I could do so much things. Like I have a whole list of things that I need to do with money, but still haven't done yet. So like I guess I could just go down the list. I don't have any trademarks, which is terrible. Absolutely terrible, guys. None of my businesses are trademarked. So it's like that's something I could use the money for. But then when you think about it, there's a whole list of other things I still need to do, like start my business credit or pay off my personal debt so I can have higher or better rates for business credit. Because since I'm still sole proprietor and not transferred over yet, what is it called? I'm supposed to be transferred over to an S corp right now, and it's taking forever because New York State, they're stopping all applications or delaying them. And I put my application in since like early last year, before COVID.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've just been waiting for it to transfer to an S corp. So right now everything is still funneling up to me like a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
So the money could go to paying my bills, paying off my credit cards. I have 2 maxed out credit cards, even though I had a Let's Talk Credit episodes. But I have plans on paying them back. I'm not gonna consolidate them, because I realize it's a little easier if I do it one by one and still keep the lines. So I'm just gonna pay them both back and do the method that the gentleman taught us, like use one credit card to pay off the other credit card and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the money would really help. Yeah, but I need help. I need some ideas, some advice. If I am going to invest some of the money, a portion of the money, 30-40% of it, what do you guys recommend? Like I love stocks. I love the idea of stocks and how they're really long term. Love crypto. Crypto is so hot right now, but again, I could put it in anything. not sure what to do with the money that would best suit my needs. And I also have an operations manager now. So I have someone that's thank you. I have someone that's completely running all the operations of the Essentials, which owns all of my other businesses. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best course of action to use the $7,000 wisely and not spend it on a vacation to Japan. I just don't want to be that guy.
Well, that's the bottom, the very, very bottom, practically off the list right now.
I mean, yeah, it's off the list, but at the end of the day, I can get COVID tomorrow.
No.
Like,
no. And if you do, you're definitely not going to Japan. Like,
my God.
So no. But I understand. For me, I think it's very responsible, and I want to applaud you in acknowledging that, one, you don't know what you want to do with it. And I think in a time like this where, we're taught we're supposed to manage our money smart and put it here and put it there, it's like, hold on. I don't know. Like, I really just don't know. Like, I don't know. And I think it's really good to acknowledge that, because instead of jumping on just the latest trend and putting all your money there without, paying off certain bills or setting yourself up for the long run, you're making sure you're smart about this because this money is beneficial. So, we spoke off camera and you wanted to do a pros and cons list. And I think that's something we can definitely do. I'm going to get the whiteboard up. So whoever is seeing this will see the whiteboard with me. Whoever's listening to this, you're just going to hear me put the options in. So,
and if you're going through something similar to this, let's make a pros and cons for you too. Start writing it out. Put the options, make 3 brackets. One bracket could be the options, one bracket could be the pros, and one bracket could be for cons.
Yeah. Okay. So
I feel like we're in an arts and crafts class.
Bear with me, guys. She's trying here. Okay, boom. We've got the 3 options.
Shimmy, 2 straight lines.
Options, pros, cons. Okay, so what's one of your options?
Putting about like 40 to 50% of it into real estate investments, which are like short-term real estate investments. So there's short sales. I can't get into the real like logistics of it because I don't personally myself. I just know they're a sure thing. If you guys know anybody that has connections for real estate short sales,
okay, so this just doesn't want to move.
It's not moving.
Yeah, it's just a little.
That's so disrespectful.
Oh wait, I think I got it.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you guys know anybody that's interested, like into short sales, then you guys know, like, you putting in any percentage of your money, you're gonna get that back within like 2 to 3 to 4 months. The whatever percentage that was promised to you. So if it's 10%, you definitely get that back. If it's 50%, you're definitely gonna get that back. So imagine I put 3,000 of it in, and it's a short sale for about 15%. I'm definitely gonna get that back within 3 to 5 months.
Okay, so what's your pros for that?
The pros to that is that I know I would get that money back. It would take 3 to 5 months, but that's not necessarily the highest profit margin I could think of. I feel like that's more of like a savings type thing, like a faster savings.
Okay.
So I guess that would be like a con. Like, it's not as much money. Like, I wouldn't be satisfied if I only got a couple $100 back off of it, even though that's great.
Okay. And you said the con was it's like a savings?
Yeah, like it's you get it's a better savings. It's like a better savings. So I'm not getting.
There's no profit?
There is profit, but it's only like however set amount you get. So let's say the thing is 15%. It's only ever going to be 15%. Like, it's not going to be raised any higher. You can't really double down unless you compound it and only put back your profit.
Okay. So it's short term, but
Yeah, that's a pro. Yeah.
okay. All right. And short term. Are there any more pros and cons for that?
Not necessarily. So if I did the real estate investment, it would be 40 to 50% of the money. And then the rest I would use on bills, myself, my family, whatever.
Okay, so what's the next option?
Next option would be I would probably use it to pay my my operations manager. So the way that works right now is that we have an agreement to about $400 to $500 a month. You know, that's a pretty penny for me right now, seeing as how I barely make $2,000 a month. So it's like she would be making me double that amount, but that's a risk. So if I'm using that fund for her, I would have get her guaranteed money for about like 6 to 10 months, you know?
Okay.
Which
Sorry,
is a good.
I'm gonna be like,
No, girl, you take your time. You're doing amazing. So the pro would be if I use the money to pay for her, my operations manager, I would be. I'm gonna let you type.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. If I use the money for the operations manager, I wouldn't have to worry about her paycheck for 6 to 10 months, depending on how much percent of the money I use.
Okay.
And a con to that would be I wouldn't necessarily have money to pay the rest of my stuff, like my bills, do all the other fun stuff. You know, it would just be for her. So I guess the con would be I would still have to like do extra like part-time work on the side. I guess the con would be that I would still have to do like little part-time work on the side just to ensure that the rest of my bills can get paid and I still take care of business operations funds. You know, like getting trade stuff.
Any other pros and cons?
No, not really.
Okay, so what's the next thing?
Dang, I forgot about all the things I've been wanting to do. Investments,
Okay.
such cryptocurrency, NFTs, stocks.
Am I spelling this right? Investments. I know I went wrong somewhere. Cryptos, EFTs, ETFs or EFTs?
And NFTs.
Oh. And then you said stocks?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the pros of those?
So the pros of those is long term. Like the way I've been investing in stocks right now, a good friend of mine, he's been teaching me about investing in stocks with high percentage in dividends. So those just give you money back. And I set up my stash account where it keeps reinvesting my dividends, my stash and my TD Ameritrade.
Yeah.
So it's really good in the long term. If you sit and hold on the stock like that, it's gonna keep on paying you every month or however many times they pay you, every 3 months, every 6 months. It's just gonna keep paying you.
Okay.
The con for those kind of things is that I'm not really seeing that cash back for a while. Like for me to put in the money, like let's say if I put in the whole thing to Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin, it fluctuates, but it's at like about 58,000 right now. That would be amazing for me to put it in there, but I would have to watch and see how the market is and make sure that it's always going up. So it would take a few months for me to see a real change in the money. Like I wouldn't see profit just yet.
Okay. All right.
So I guess it's good for long-term money, not necessarily good if you're a person like me who's broke and needs the money.
And I think, you know, while doing this, I'm kind of getting an idea of where I would give an advice to do with this, but I'm gonna let you keep going. So far we've got paying operations manager, real estate, investing, what else? Bills, credit cards.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier. So I would pay off my 2 credit cards, my car loan, and I think that's really about like the bulk of my debt right now. Like my student loans are a thing, but because of my income, I'm able to zero them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process through loan forgiveness, and I consolidated them, so they're really not that big of like an issue with me. I
Mm-hmm.
would have put some money down on that, but the student loans is positive debt for me, so it's not necessarily a problem. I wouldn't like take the whole 7,000 and put it there, you know.
Okay, so what's the pros of paying off your credit cards and car loans?
My personal credit, which skyrocketed. That's the only thing on my credit right now that's holding it down. It would actually bring me up to like mid 700s.
Okay.
So that's amazing. But then at the end of the day, I still need money. So I'm going to have to use the credits. So granted, I'll be using them smarter now. I'll make sure that I hide my utilization. I'll make sure that everything is better than what I've been doing for the past couple of years. But I would still have, no money for the things that I actually need.
Like
Like
what?
things like savings, like paying up things like business expenses monthly, you know. At the end of the day, $7,000 is great. It's more than I have right now, but it's not a lot of money when you think about it.
Yeah.
So if I'm cutting it in between 2 cards, in between my vehicle, if I'm cutting it in between all the stuff, the monthly expenses I have, it's like it's already gone, you know?
Okay. Do you have any other options? Any other, yeah.
Not that I can remember right now. Maybe I'm missing some, but that's pretty
Saving?
much what the main thing. Huh?
ENG?
Oh, ENG is essential nail growth. So that would be me um throwing my money in the toilet.
Okay, so
Potentially.
it's not an option.
No, it is an option though. You
But
didn't
it's
hear
an
the
option that you already like crossed out. So what's the point
no,
of putting it on the board?
I didn't cross it out though. So I say that it's throwing my money in the toilet because it's very high risk. Like you investing in yourself and in your brand and your business, it's high risk. It's more risky than stocks. It's more risky than anything because that's based off of your work ethic. If you don't work at it, it's not going to work, you know? So me investing in essential nail growth would be me manufacturing items. Like that's me putting the 7,000 into a business that's already negative. So
Okay.
it's not going to see the profit in it, but I will be growing the brand with it. I will be potentially getting purchase orders, potentially getting new clients, new customers, new subscribers. Like it's something that's gonna affect me in the long run. So like the pro would be, yeah, you're growing your business, building your business, but the con is it's extremely high risk because that's already a business that's bleeding money.
Okay.
When you start a passion project like that and you're on your own personal manufacturing, there's not a lot of profit within the first 5 years, 6 years, even 10 years. You don't get to see the profit unless you get into those big box stores like Walmart, Target, or wherever, you know?
Okay.
That's the goal. That's the end goal. But $7,000 is not going to get me in Target. Not that I know.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to do a little activity for me and for anyone listening. I've pretty much outlined her options with her pros and her cons. I color coordinated it so she knows which one goes where. I should really take a screenshot of this. This is pretty good.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to screenshot it.
And now I'm gonna like ask you, Ash, just only looking at the pros, which pro do you think, or which 2 pros do you think is worthwhile? Take away your personal feelings about it. If someone was
Oh
asking
my God.
advice, what would you tell them? Just select the pros, not the options.
Oh my God. Um, that's hard because I can't be objective. This is my stuff.
Okay, so
Um,
I'll throw myself in there. Right now, the number one thing you know, that's flashing to me is personal credit would skyrocket. And only reason I select that one is because with our past episode, we learned how you can really do a lot with your credit. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you have a credit in the mid 700s, I feel like you're opening up yourself to being able to get so much more, being able to do so much more. However, like you said, you still would have no money.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that like, comes out to me, because right now your problem is money in the moment, not long term. So a lot of these options are like, well, yeah, you can build money in this amount of time and that amount of time, but it's like, what about right now? My bills are
Yeah,
not waiting for 6 months.
they're not
Not
waiting.
waiting
Yeah,
for next year. So I think in terms of priority, I would personally advise not, I'm not telling you what to do. This is just my opinion. I would
I
say I would split up what you have to do. See if you can pay off at least one credit card. So you
mm,
don't have to do everything right now, but you can put yourself where you are getting your credit to increase. So I would pay off a
yeah,
credit card. Um, I would save 2 months worth of paying your operations manager. So for at least 2 months, you have that money set aside. I wouldn't recommend saving all of the money, wait for her. No,
yeah,
I would do like 2, max 3 months, depending on how much money you have left over. So at least for these 2 months, that's not an issue because money comes and goes. And I believe that with, a 2 month head start, you're able to then save the money you need to save to pay her. So
right.
that right there is 1,000. Let's just knock off 3 to 4,000 for credit cards. I really don't know. Let's just say,
It's both 5,000.
okay, so that's $6,000 right there. You got one more $1,000. What would you do with that? I would see if you can kind of put a little bit something into the real estate, because you can get money back within the
Yeah,
next couple months. And unfortunately, you will have to grind a little hard. You won't have money for right now, but at least certain things won't be a bother. With that, paying off the one credit card though, the pro of that is, like we learned last time, you can use Peter to pay Paul. So if you have
yeah,
one credit card paid off, you can kind of like use that to help pay off the next credit card and just keep going, so you're raising your credit score.
yeah,
So if you can get one done, it's cool. Then you use that to propel you ahead. So while you're raising your credit score, you have the money for the next 2 months to pay off your operation manager, and then you can look into putting into maybe the real estate, or I wouldn't investments. I wouldn't necessarily do that this very second, because you already have investments going. It's not like if you're like you have nothing there. So
hmm,
and this is coming from a person who doesn't really do that much investing. So I invest weekly, yes, but it's not my main focus in terms of money. So I'm only speaking from that point of view. I know if other people, who are more in delve with investments and stocks and cryptos, they're like, no, do that. That's cool. Y'all know something I don't, so that's fine.
yeah,
But I wouldn't necessarily throw the money there right now, because that's, like you said, a long-term payout. Right now, you're
hmm.
looking for in the moment short-term goals. If you guys have any options, what you think Ash should do, this is really what this episode is for, asking you guys for help, because you guys really do know a lot, and everyone has, their own specialty. They have their own connections. So maybe someone who can help her, who connect her. So please don't
A
be afraid to.
advisor,
Uh,
a financial advisor or something.
yeah, so if you guys know someone, please don't be afraid to message us, DM us,
Hmm.
have our numbers, text us, um, and just let us know what you think, or if you can connect us to someone who might know what she should do. This is just my personal opinion. It's not, I don't think it's necessarily the right way or the wrong way. It's just one way to go about it.
Yeah,
And now you have this beautiful layout, so you can see kind of what goes where and how that would affect you.
I love it. And it's color coded. Like, y'all don't even understand. Whoever's listening to this and can't see it, Valley did an amazing job. Spectacular.
I mean, because I couldn't do lines, so I was just like, yeah, let's color.
No,
So you
this is
know
perfect.
which pro is which con and which con is which option. It
This
works.
is-
But yeah, so what do you think about my little tidbit?
I think that's a really good idea. Like I was kind of leaning in the direction of splitting the money and not throwing all my eggs in one basket, because who has the time for that? Like I don't have all of the resources in the world. Like I asked for the loans because I need the loans.
Yeah.
And thank God, like you can always reapply for the loans. The loans, they give you about 30 years to pay them off, guys, with a low interest rate. So, it's not going to take me 30 years to pay it off.
Have that
Oh,
option.
yeah, at least I have that option too.
Yeah, like you said, it's there for a reason. And
Mhm.
I think we tend to shy away from loans because they're always considered the big bad monster. But in a time of
No,
economic hardship, this is a blessing.
a huge blessing. I am in a state of so much gratitude. Like I'm so happy to even get a chance to have this, because I'm the type of person that I can't ask for money. Like there's a problem with me that I have this weird thing where it's like, oh man, I shouldn't ask for money. This is money that I am entitled to as a business owner in America. So why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saved it though, just in case you needed it.
Thank
Yeah, and I fully agree with you. I think the money's there, finding the best way to use it. It's something to tailor to your personal needs. I also think that while this money is a great blessing, unfortunately, it's really not that much compared to what you need to do and what you need to pay for. So you're still going to have to do some side jobs. You're still going to have to do those things. Even with, this big blessing, still gonna have to do some stuff we don't want to do to get to where we want to be. But at least you can pay something off, or you can use this to put you in a position, because
it could give me a little bit of a head start to where I'm supposed to be.
yeah, and everyone can tell you what to do with the money, but at the end of the day, like, it's your life to live,
Yeah.
really, it boils down to you having to deal with the actions of your consequences of your actions. So somebody can tell you, yeah, invest all of it, and then boom, you done lost half of it.
Yeah.
Or it can triple. So you just never know, which is why we're really reaching out to our audience. We recently passed the 2K threshold, so
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
right, who's listening to us, we know one of y'all knows somebody or know something. So please, like we said, don't be afraid to reach out to us. So our non-sponsored sponsor of the day is Shivy Hair Care. Cue more sound effects. I'll be really at the sound effects. But yeah, Shivy Hair Care, that's me. I have released a new spring/summer line of readjustable satin hair bonnets. So the promo video for that should be coming out today or tomorrow, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it. So if you are interested, follow me on Instagram at Shivy Hair Care, SHIVI Hair Care. My website is shivyhaircare.com. My Etsy is shivyhaircare.com. And I encourage you guys all to go and just check it out, because like I said, I always believe in my products. Oh, and my containers finally came for my butters. So I'm making my butters on Thursday
Praise the Lord.
After 2 months. They kept everything on hold because they were out of stock. And instead of giving me my money back and sending half the products, they just, whatever. It's fine. It's here. I can now put that out. So we have more stuff coming out. And I actually have new products that I was waiting to release because I didn't have the containers to put them in, which I can do now. So a lot of great things are happening, and I'm really excited. Once again, it's Shivy Hair Care. I would love it if you guys check it out. It's not only for natural hair, it's for every hair care type. However, it's specifically designed to give that extra love to natural hair care. So while it's not exclusive to the natural hair community, it is definitely built to enhance natural hair.
Yeah. Just imagine putting a big old bonnet on top of this. Like it's beautiful, guys. It's love. The pattern so nice. I can't wait for everyone.
Yeah.
On.
And before we leave, I just want to leave, you guys with a little bit of advice. I don't know, not advice, but just a last goodbye statement. I don't know who needs to hear this, but, my therapist, she recently told me that long story short, I'm trying hard to be someone else. And it's not that I'm trying to be someone else that I physically see. It's just a version of me that I'm trying so hard to be, and I need to accept myself as the way I am. So, and like I say that just because, we want to be our ideal versions, which is nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be your best self, but it is a problem when you're not accepting yourself for where you are and how far you've come because you're so focused on trying to be this person that you're not, you're
Yeah.
not. I will never be my perfect self. I will continue to strive to be an improved version, but I also need to accept myself for who I am and where I am. So if anyone is out there is struggling with something like that as I am, realized that recently, yeah, just remember that you are you are trying, you are growing, and you, I don't want to say we'll never get to that ideal version unless you accept yourself now, but it'll be very hard for you to get to that ideal version unless you accept yourself now, because when you get there, you're still going to find a flaw that you feel like you need to improve on, and so you'll never fully be okay with who you are as a person, and
Right.
okay with the fact that we make mistakes, okay with the fact that we're not where we want to be, okay with the fact that, yeah, I tend to isolate myself. It's not something positive, it's not something that I'm bragging about, but it's something that, it's a characteristic, and it's okay to not have all perfect, all positive characteristics. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm leaving you guys with. I hope you like it. You're welcome.
Yeah. I second that completely. If you constantly stretching yourself and trying to be something, you're kind of losing what you are now. Be okay with where you are now, because if you keep striving and striving and striving, you might get there and not be happy.
Yeah.
So be okay with being happy with where you are right now, and it's okay wherever you are right now. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely a testament of not being happy with wherever I get, because it's not the perfect version of myself. So now I'm no longer enjoying anything because it's
Yeah.
not good enough. So,
Yeah.
she's been working with me, and I appreciate her for that because I'm a work in progress. But yeah, guys, I generally hope you guys have a great day. I hope you took something from this. And once again, we really encourage you to reach out and give advice. We
Right.
know it all. The purpose of this podcast is an exchange, give what we know, but also are so open and so willing to receive any bit of advice because,
Yeah.
yeah, we need help. So
Yeah, definitely. Do your research too. Like, don't just take our word and run with it like it's Bible. Like, do your research too. Like, a lot of those loans have stipulations on what you're supposed to do with the money, what you can do with the money, what they look for in for giving the loan. So make sure you do your research on those things.
yes. And on that note, you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening.